Hi, ladies. Happy Friday. I shouldn't say hi, ladies, because there may be more than just ladies listening. I'm assuming it's ladies because what I'll be talking about today is Venus and the divine feminine. But hi to everyone. Happy Venus Day. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I wanted to come and chat really quickly because I am starting the Venus Reclamation Reset as of tomorrow, March 1st, and kind of wanted to just come and talk about that and kind of give more info as to why that is such an important reset for me and why I invite other people to join, other women especially, to join in. Let me just start by saying I hope that you guys are not put off by my not coming on camera. I'm very specific about why I don't do that because I really want to just focus on the message. And sometimes, even just for me, being on camera just puts me more in a space where I'm too focused on like am I the angles and the lighting and all the things, right? So it's better to not be on camera. But you guys let me know how you feel. Be sure to share your info, share your opinions. But so talking about Venus, right? Let me just jump right into it and tell you guys that one of the things that I consider to be a very beautiful energy when it comes to the divine feminine, and I encourage all women, all divine feminine beings to foster and make their own connection to Venus energy, Venus the planet, but the Venus the energy, right? The vibration that Venus energy holds, because it really does provide a very healing tool for the divine feminine. Not in a way that is like too, soft, but in a way that is real, that is honest, and that I feel only an energy like Venus can do. For me, I connected to Venus energy probably around 2019. And it was in a time where I was really focused on healing, um, and connecting myself back to the source of my femininity because life had been lifing. And I was like, man, I really don't feel connected to my feminine self. And it was through, looking at my mother, who I later found out was actually a Venus ruled moon, interestingly enough. But it was through looking at my mom going through what she was going through at the time. My mom was sick, and but seeing her meet her sickness with such a feminine flair still, I'm talking about being in her weakest state that I've seen her in, yet sitting with her back straight up, sitting, with her legs crossed, and just being such a divine feminine in that moment without even really even trying. It touched me so much. It touched me so much. And it inspired me to always show up, if I would go with her to, like, let's say a doctor's appointment or to something that she had to do, a procedure she had to do, I would always make sure that I showed up in my own feminine energy. And what that meant was, even though I had been maybe working all night or super tired, super stressed, super whatever, to still put effort into my appearance, make sure that I represented for her in just as much as a feminine way that she was representing for herself. And I didn't realize how important that was, and that was my introduction without even knowing it to Venus energy. And as time progressed, um, I started to become more aware. I started to build a relationship with astrology and became more aware of Venus energy and, the beautiful healing aspects of Venus energy, but also the realness of Venus energy, because sometimes to heal you gotta get the real. You gotta get into the nitty-gritty of the reasons why you don't have the self-value that you should have, the reasons why you have these relationship issues or connection issues that continue to show up, and really try to focus on bridging the gap between the why and the how, and that's what Venus did for me, and in my determination to really reconnect things that had been severed through life's experience. So sometimes it happens. And what I realized through working with Venus energy was that it was abundant in its healing ability. And I listened to what I was led to do or led to um, fulfill, right? I'll give you guys an example. And some of us are working with Venus energy and we don't even know it. For instance, one of the things that I really was determined to do was on Fridays, I was very adamant about not wearing pants, like no pants on Friday. I wanted to be very much in my divine feminine. And so Fridays, no matter the weather, no matter what the circumstances were, I would put on a skirt or a dress. And we may know some religions that actually practice that, but that was my own way of kind of giving some adherence to my divine feminine and putting my divine feminine before any and everything going on around me. And I feel like what that said was I am determined to show up for my femininity no matter what's happening. And the more consistent I was with that, the more I felt softer. And the more I felt softer, the more I felt like I was healing. And I was seeing pieces of myself emerge that were whole, pieces of myself emerge that were more polished and more just a better version than I had been before. And it got to the point where I started to see a new me, truly. And it was because my face, and this is gonna sound crazy, I know, but it's because the muscles in my face had relaxed. And my mother would always say to me, you don't look so angry anymore. And I didn't even realize that I was walking around looking so angry because we don't realize how we wear our scars, how we wear our our wounds. We just put them on and they become armor, right? They become this thing that separates us from dealing with, being vulnerable to the world. So those things had started to fall off. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm literally feeling like I'm reemerging a new person. And it was truly, when I tell you all, it was truly because of my determination to reconnect with my divine feminine energy. And I I am in appreciation to the energy of Venus for that, right? So I encourage women specifically. I would say men as well, because you want to make sure that that divine masculine and that divine feminine is always in balance. But specifically women, especially women who have experienced trauma, who have experienced pain, and walk with wounds and things that it's hard for you to push past. Build that relationship with Venus. Build that relationship with that energy, and foster it. Foster it, because what you're really fostering is a relationship with yourself, a part of yourself that you have lost. And Venus only serves as a support to that process. So I have decided, it was last year, and I remember looking through my astrology calendar, and I'm like, oh, wow, Venus is going into Taurus for a while. And honestly, I'm sure it happens every year, but something just sparked in me, and I'm like, I have to use this time to really connect with Venus and connect with myself. This is going to be a time of purging. This is going to be a time of realigning my divine feminine. And when I tell you all, well, first of all, Venus rules Taurus, right? And Taurus is all about when I think of Taurus energy and Venus energy together, I'm like, oh, that's just sweetness. That's just softness. That's just like, that's expensive. It smells good. It looks good. It feels good. So I was like, yeah, I definitely want to enjoy that energy and take time to, align with that. And what it did, y'all, like, let me say this. When you do a Venus reset, don't think that the fruits of that reset is just going to start to flourish immediately. No. It it was planted. The seeds were planted during the reset, but were um the fruits were available throughout the year, through opportunity, through just the things that I had put the intentions into flourish so beautifully. And I realized that there's something to this. There's something definitely here. And so this year I wanted to do it with the Venus retrograde in Aries, because if you guys have listened to my 2025 video, Aries/Mars energy is very strong this year. Things are moving fast, rapid speed. Things are changing, lots of aggression, lots of motivation, lots of inspiration, lots of willpower. All these things that are Aries/Mars related happening. And having Venus, in Aries retrograde really gives an opportunity to kind of sit in a moment of just assessing, right? And taking this opportunity to do a Venus reset with ourselves, I think is smart. And one of the things that I think is so key moving forward is that instead of just having a calendar that reads to us what the day of the month is, we need to start really incorporating these cosmic alignments so that we are moving and making important decisions and, key choices along with the cosmic support. I love astrologers that give us the forecast and can tell us like this is what's happening. But where I don't like having an influx of information and not knowing what to do with it. It serves me no purpose, because it's like, okay, thank you for giving me all of that to chew on, but what do I do with it? It feels like empty calories, So I need to know how I can use this energy in my life in real time. and ultimately allow it to work for me, allow it to work for my life, allow it to help me to propel to the levels that I am, looking to propel to. And knowing that, Venus is in retrograde, and oh, this is a time where, maybe you're going to have arguments with your significant others because it's going to be in Aries. Maybe this is a time where you don't really want to spend too much money because it's going to be in Aries, and maybe wonderful. I welcome those perspectives, but tell me something more. Tell me how I can really tap into this energy and make it work for me in a way that elevates me. Because next year is going to be the same thing, year after year after year. And it just becomes, to me, in a sense, a sense of redundancy, right? Where it's like, okay, I get it. This is the energy, but how can I use this to really dive into real life things, and start making real life moves based on this information? And these are the ways that we do that. So an annual reset where you realign your mental, your physical, your emotional, your spiritual, supported by the divine energy of Venus, in a rapid acting, fiery element of Aries, where you're able to just take on some of those, themes, but also utilize it to fuel your intentions. That's important. That's important. So I invite you all to participate. It is self-guided. I do post the information. So it's a 4-week reset. Week 1 starts March 1st, goes on to March 8th, picking up March 9th. Second one starts, I think, March 16th, and then March 23rd. And we are really going to, week 3 for me, I'm so excited because that is when Venus is going to be in what we call Kazami. And with the sun. And that is where we're going to be reclaiming. That's when we're going to get into the reclaiming. So we're starting off with a purge because you got to get rid of the toxins. You got to get rid of the residual things so that you can make way for the new. After we purge, we cleanse, because we have to sanctify the space. But we're going to sanctify with tenderness, because we are, after all, in a retrograde. So we're going to sanctify and cleanse gently, right? And then we move into a space of reclamation. Reclaim what's yours. Call it back to you. And all the while, as we are purging and cleansing, we're also making our intentions, building on our intentions, so that we can say by week 3, I'm clear on what I want and I know what I want to bring in. And then we're going to close things out on week 4 by fortifying the energy. Fortifying the energy means that now we're going to seal it. We've already stated our intentions. Now we're going to seal the deal by fortifying that energy. So again, if you're interested in following along and doing a Venus reset, make sure you're following the IG page as Earthly and Ethereal, and make sure you follow along here at YouTube. It's self-guided, but we do offer a weekly guide and inspiration through the week to help motivate, inspire, and things of that nature. Okay, so I hope you guys are doing wonderful. I hope that this week is meeting you with a lot of joy. And I hope that you enjoy this Pisces new moon that we're under right now. Definitely make sure that you make your way outside and just feel this beautiful energy and enjoy. All right. Wellness to you all. Bye-bye.